More than he gets, Mr. Iain Lee.
Come on, men. Hello and welcome to the 11 o'clock show. Everybody is talking about the Register of Parliamentary Members' Interests. Madison has already put his hand up, and he's declared an interest in show tunes, home furnishings and the lovely Ricky Martin. Nice. He also accepted 13 free flights abroad. Now, Madison's admitting to loving the in-flight entertainment, or as he likes to call them, the stewards. They're fellas. But if Mandy's the Queen, then the king of freebies has to be Fat Boy Fat John Prescott, who's got 3 cars at his disposal. One for him, one for his wife, and one for all of his pies. And questions are being asked after John Major made £1 million last year. How did he get it? Well, I don't know, but Emma Noble's his daughter-in-law. He got a video camera, holding the guest bedroom wall. Work it out for yourself. I've tried it, I know. But that's enough parliamentary palavers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the girl who's always a vote winner, Miss Daisy Donovan.
Don't be fooled by my smile, because it sickens me, all these bribes and backhanders in politics. In television, we have to be whiter than white, like Daz Ultra. The housewife's choice.
Thank you very much, Daisy.
That's all right. Let me tell you what's coming up on tonight's show. We'll be talking to top comedy writer, broadcaster and New Labour insider John O'Farrell.
I'll be finding out whether women have got a lower tolerance to pain than men. Oh, nothing.
And Ricky Gervais pays tribute to possibly the last of the great British explorers, Sir Ranulph Fiennes. But first, it's today's headlines.
Tonight's top stories.
George W. Bush shocked the US today after his campaign trail reached Michigan and he made this emotional appeal to young Americans.
An astronomer claims that colleagues on the space shuttle had sex in 10 different positions to test for the effects of weightlessness. The experiment had to be abandoned after a couple broke up on re-entry.
There was further embarrassment for the bungling NHS when the retiring chief, Sir Alan Langlands, received a gift-wrapped pacemaker. Unfortunately, a pensioner on the geriatric ward was fitted with a carriage clock.
Sir Ranulph Fiennes has given up his solo attempt to reach the North Pole after suffering frostbite. He said, "A part of me will always be out there. My penis." He abandoned the attempt after his sledge got stuck in ice. He said he could have done with a toe, but they'd all fallen off.
And those were tonight's headlines. We've got an important message now for all international terrorists. In just 5 hours, Phil Collins, Ricky Martin and Sting will all be in the same place at the same time.
No, we're not saying bomb the Grammys. We're just saying Phil Collins, Ricky Martin and Sting. And Bono.
And to report on this once-in-a-lifetime bombing opportunity, here's our West Coast correspondent, Jeff Ross.
Hello, people of Britain. It's the 42nd annual Grammy Awards here in Hollywood, the biggest night in American music. The race everybody's watching, Best New Artist. The front-runner, 18-year-old pop sensation Britney Spears, also nominated for Best New Tits. Have you seen this magazine cover? I didn't read it. I ruined it. What about Britney's main nemesis, 17-year-old Christine Aguilera? Sounds like something I caught in Cuba. She's also nominated for Worst Name since Natalie Imbruglia. My prediction, Britney will win, and she'll cry, and she'll blow a Backstreet Boy. Tupac Shakur is once again nominated in the Best Dead Artist category. Actually, his song Changes is up for a Best Rap Solo Performance Grammy. Tupac is not expected to attend the awards on February 23rd. However, his homies will be representing, said a spokeshomie. And Sting's most recent album is nominated in the category of Best Music to Put Up Shelves To. In the Best Song category, Cher's smash hit Believe is the favorite, and I'd like to go on record as saying, I can't fucking believe it. Personally, I'm really looking forward to the post-Grammy parties. It'll be hard to top last year. I was in the back of a limo with Pavarotti. Hit a Pizza Hut afterwards, ate like animals, hung out at my place. Man, can that guy fuck up a toilet. That's another story. And Ricky Martin, who is, of course, the biggest Latin explosion since the Bay of Pigs, will be performing live again at this year's Grammys. He's my favorite, and to close up my report, I've written a little poem. Little change of mood. Can we dim the lights a little bit? This poem is called I Love Ricky Martin. His face is so boyish, his skin so tannish. My blood goes loco when he sings in Spanglish. Now, I'm not gay, but if I switch, I want Ricky to be my bitch. That's my report. God bless you, everybody. Good luck to the nominees, except Sting.
And that was Jeff Ross reporting there.
When Take That split up, it was widely predicted that Gary Barlow would become the new Elton John, and he almost did. The trouble is, he didn't write any good tunes, he just got fat and behaved like an annoying gay.
Well, today he's announced that he's going to be a dad, which proves he can still release something that shoots up and enters the #1 slot, but still somehow manages to get on your tits.
So we say the time has come to stop mocking the brilliant songsmith, which is why we're giving away the punchlines to all Gary Barlow jokes now, rendering them obsolete.
Since the breakup of Take That, Gary Barlow has continued to make a valid contribution to the world of popular music. His solo releases, whilst failing to make a massive impact at the top of the charts, display the typical Barlow qualities that make Take That so special. Great melodies with a catchy chorus and sublime lyrical depth.
Gary is now set to be a father, and who can predict the impact this will have on his unquestionable creative talent? With his newfound maturity, fatherhood is sure to be just another stage in Gary's emotional and creative development. We'd like to take this opportunity to wish Gary the best of luck and look forward to enjoying more of his wonderful work.
And Gary, Robbie may have gone to very great things, but never forget there are many people who still have a very special place in their heart for you. Like him.
And him.
And them.
Ian, did you know that women have a lower pain threshold than men?
Ah, that explains why every time I touch a woman, she screams and runs away.
I'm not sure that's quite the reason, Ian. But to find out more, I made this intriguing report. A report out today reveals that women have less resistance to pain than men. I've come here to London, pain capital of Europe, to find out if this is fact or fiction. Hold out your knuckle.
Yeah.
OK, and... that hurt?
Yes.
I had a swan come up to me, and it was giving me jip, you know, flapping away, and I got hold of its neck, and I punched it, because it was really annoying me. It came right back at me, the bugger, and it pecked out my lung. Have you ever had a swan peck out your lung? You're so, you know, you don't really know about pain, do you? The report was actually finalised by a man, and they worked on mice in America. Now, this is the man mouse, OK? So if we just... this is a different kind of pain. Oh. OK, that's a male mouse. Thank you.
There you go.
OK. Is that painful?
Yes.
Okay.
See ya.
Okay. That's, you see, that was more painful for her. I think the mouse died. I think the mouse died. Yes. Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't quite see the relation between that.
Well, the woman mouse was supposed to be able to withstand pain.
But that's torture.
But it wasn't supposed to kill it.
What on earth do you expect?
Whatever the report might say, I reckon women can take pain better than men.
Well, that's it for part one. Still to come in part two, new Labour insider John O'Farrell dishes the dirt on Mandelson, Livingston and all Blair's friends and foes.
Plus, Ricky Gervais follows in the frozen footsteps of Sir Ranulph Fiennes.
But first, please stop, look and listen to this charity appeal.
Hello. Imagine you're a tiger. Strong, powerful, beautiful markings. The king of the jungle. Muscle, sinew, ready to pounce at any moment. Now imagine you're laid out on the floor of a posh bloke's living room as a rug. Your eyes have been replaced by marbles, and your balls ground up and eaten by some Chinese bloke because he can't get a hard-on. You know, it needn't happen. Please, please send us some money now. Have a heart. Come on. Don't be a cunt.
Still to come, we reveal NASA's advice manual for sex in space.
But first, today's headlines.
John Prescott gives the green light to Railtrack on safety. Railtrack say, green? Is that stop or go?
Violence threatened before Wembley showdown. Alex Ferguson is removed from the dressing room.
SAS trained benefit officers to spot fraudsters. Scouse builders fear shoot-to-kill policy.
And those were the headlines.
Put a man on the moon, now they're trying to put a man in a womb. A French astronomer claimed today that in 1996 NASA conducted sex experiments in space.
His revelations have led experts to question whether we've been told the truth about previous missions. When Neil Armstrong declared the eagle has landed, was it actually a coded phrase meaning, Houston, I'm sunk to the nuts?
Following the experiments, NASA issued astronauts with these guidelines for space romance. 1. Flirting. In space, be careful not to misread the signs. If your partner's heart is racing, her eyelids are fluttering and she's beginning to swoon, it's not infatuation, you're simply treading on her oxygen line.
2. Foreplay. Sex in space can be a cold, awkward experience, so make a special effort. Get your partner aroused with erotic, whispered conversation. Don't go space happy and press your scrotum against their visor singing That's Amore.
3. The deed. If you suddenly get spaceman's droop prior to lovemaking, remember, you can't blame it on gravity, and it's just as embarrassing as it is on Earth. In fact, more so, because a room full of Texans are watching you from Mission Control.
4. Afterwards. Don't spoil the posted ambiance with bland lines like, did the Earth move for you? If it did, you spun wildly out of orbit and you're about to crash into the sun.
And finally, although they say in space no one can hear you scream, remember, they can hear you ask, is it in yet?
And those are the NASA guidelines for safe space sex. Now, in the modern world, there are only a few things left to be discovered. The secret of time travel, a cure for cancer, and why do only fools and horses work?
One man whose unique voyage of discovery took a tumble this week is Sir Ranulph Fiennes when frostbite halted his trip to the North Pole. Ricky Gervais has this report.
Today, one of England's greatest explorers, Sir Ranulph Fiennes, is recovering after abandoning his attempt to walk to the North Pole. He was only 1 week into a journey that was expected to last up to 3 months, and is a... who gives a shit? Seriously. I mean, posh people with more money than sense and too much time on their hands. The next time a rich, bearded twat gets stuck up a mountain, don't rescue him by helicopter and put him on the news. Put him into prison for being so fucking stupid in the first place and wasting everyone's time. So, I mean, do you know why Sir Ranulph turned back? Yeah, his hand, putting his sled out of the water. Yeah, a week alone in a tent. That's how he hurt his hand. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, he was putting his sled all right. Yeah. And why was he doing it? He wanted to go to the North Pole via the hardest route. Right, start off at the South Pole and make sure you cut through Whitley Estate in Reading. That's the hardest fucking route. Walking like that. Yeah, you won't get mugged. Actually, you won't get mugged. The murderers killed all the muggers in the 80s. Right. And you get all this, oh, he was doing it for charity. Right, well, he failed. He doesn't get the money. Rules of sponsorship. We did a sponsored swim in the juniors, and one lad drowned in the deep end on his first week. Didn't get paid. So, I feel sorry for the little div kids he was collecting for, whoever it was. They won't get their minibus, right? But if they're so worried, why don't they have their arse and do something? We haven't got any legs. Not my problem. And also, what's the point? What great scientific discovery did you make on this intrepid journey, Sir Ranulph? It was cold. Cold, was it, at the North Pole? Cold, you And if Channel 4 bleep that, you're a bunch of queers, all right? This is Ricky Gervais in front of a backdrop, London. It's about 80 degrees in here. It's a waste of...
Daisy, why don't you tell us about tonight's guest?
Will do, Iain. He graduated from being a satirical sketch writer on Spitting Image to a political speechwriter for Gordon Brown. He turned 18 years of political frustration into a literary success. Surely things can only get better for writer, New Labour insider and wannabe Blair babe. Please welcome John O'Farrell.
Thank you very much for popping along.
Well, thank you for having me.
New Labour's honeymoon is over and things just seem to be getting worse and worse for Tony Blair. We've given you a massive backhander to be our inside source. We want to know who are Tony's friends and who are his foes, OK? Now, the story that won't go away, Red Ken Livingstone, he lost the race to be Labour's official mayoral candidate. Is he Tony Blair's friend or foe?
Well, I think he's looking like a foe, isn't he, really? Yeah, he's calling on Dobson to stand down, so I think that probably makes him a foe. I think you'll see Millbank sort of giving a lot of negative briefing about Ken Livingstone coming up soon. I think there's going to be a story in tomorrow's papers, apparently, that the mystery second gunman in the Kennedy assassination was actually Ken Livingstone.
Fantastic. Why is he all this whinging? I'm not happy with the way the vote's going. I'm so miserable.
Well, exactly. I mean, if he took part in the contest, and now he goes, now I've lost. I don't want to do it that way.
That's like, you know, paying a prosy. I'm in trouble here. Having sex and then feeling guilty. I don't know. It's nothing like that.
Well, it's a bit like the penalty. It's like England. It's like England being knocked out of the World Cup in a penalty shootout, and then going, oh no, now we've lost the penalty shootout. We don't accept that penalty shootouts are a good way of playing the game. So we're going to go and spoil the final for everyone else.
Do you think he should stand as an independent?
No. He's first of all, it would tear the Labour Party down the middle in London, which I don't want to happen, and also just help the Tories. So the only logical explanation, if he does, is that he is in a secret love affair with Anne Widdecombe.
Imagine the footage of that. Livingstone's face bearing down on you like that would turn my
I'm trying to imagine the child, and I've got Robin Cook's face.
Yeah, with the beard at birth as well, that's the thing.
We've heard all the rumours that Chancellor Gordon Brown and Tony Blair don't get on. Is this true, friend or foe?
No, they're still friends. They're a bit like the Likely Lads, really. Tony's settled down, you know, and he's got kids and everything, and Shrie's like Thelma, and you've got Gordon next door, you know, trying to get him to come down the pub and watch the football and redistribute wealth, you know.
Yeah,
no, they're still friends, despite what everyone would like to have you believe, I think.
Now, months ago, everybody loved Mo Mowlam. Now she's been painted as a bit mental by Downing Street. You know these people. Is she Tony's friend or foe?
I think, I think Mo's still a friend. She is the only cabinet minister to have admitted smoking cannabis, isn't she? Which is fine, but I just don't think she should do it in cabinet meetings. They're all sitting around talking about Europe or the economy or whatever, and it must be very distracting having Mo gluing bits of Rizzler together and tearing up bits of cardboard. So, but apart from that, I think probably.
We actually got a picture of that, I think. Oh, right. Of course, we faked that and made it. We couldn't get hold of a real one. But never mind. Now, the leader of the opposition, William Hague, friend or foe?
Well, you might automatically think foe, but actually, he is such a crap leader of the opposition that I'd put him down as a friend, I have to say. So he's a great friend of New Labour. I mean, you know, you have to feel sorry for poor William Hague sometimes, really, don't you?
Because he looks like a baby. He's a little baby.
He hasn't got charisma, has he? He's got sort of charisma. He's sort of got he's the political equivalent of a wonder bra. Yeah, he's sort of no visible support, but you know, makes the best out of the tits he's got.
Portillo is tipped to be the next leader of the Conservative Party.
Yes.
What about the scary Anne Widdecombe? She seems more popular. Is she friend or foe, do you think?
Well, she's got to be foe, isn't she, Anne Widdecombe, really? But though, you know, in her defence, I think it's a bit unfair the way that people always, you know, go on about her looks all the time. I mean, we wouldn't make jokes about Robin Cook, for example, would we? Actually, no, we would, wouldn't we? Yeah, but no, I think what you have to say with Anne Widdecombe is, looks aside, is she a lovely person underneath? And the answer is no, unfortunately.
I haven't got that one clear.
Is the Queen a fan? Because they spent Millennium Night together at the Dome, didn't they? Do they get on?
The Queen's going to have to shape up a bit, I'm afraid, because the government are looking at this proposal from Europe to have a single European monarch. Obviously, you know, there's going to be some pressure. The Germans want a German monarch, so that's one vote for the Queen. But Labour actually think of backing King Albert II of Belgium. just to annoy the Tories.
Why not? Now, this weekend is Labour's centenary celebration. How do you think the Labour Party has stood up to the last 100 years?
That's right, yes. It's 100 years ago this week that the Labour Party was formed, an event that many people in the House of Lords still remember clearly. But no, I think it was 3 o'clock today, 100 years ago, that the party was formed, and then at 3:05, the first person resigned because Labour had moved too far to the right. No, it's been a great 100 years because we started with no MPs and we end the century with our largest ever majority. So it's a great centenary. It's just a shame the first 97 years were a bit patchy. You know?
Yeah, a bit hard. Well, this is what we predict for Labour's next 100 years. It's Tony Vader, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God, that would mean that Margaret Thatcher's his mum or something.
No, she's Davros. Ladies and gentlemen, John O'Farrell. And now for more on Explorer, Sir Ranulph Fiennes, we have a live to Ricky Gervais. Ricky, is there any more news on Sir Ranulph Fiennes' condition?
I don't care about upper-class knobs, I told you once, who've never done a decent day's work in their lives and do pointless things to show off. I don't just mean you two useless sods, but I reckon most of these Explorer types are, you know, like yourself, Ian, really. Very crafty butchers.
Crafty butchers?
Yeah, like their meat delivered round the back. not Finesy. Not Finesy. No. Like, you know, like Captain Scott in the Antarctic? They got stuck without enough food, so Oates said, I'm going outside, I may be some time. The ultimate self-sacrifice. But who do we hear this from? The survivors. How do we know that happened? I reckon Scott and the rest of them bullied him out of the tent.
That's what you reckon, is it?
Well, yeah, they probably said, if you don't leave the tent, Oatesy, without your balaclava, we'll tell everyone you wet the sleeping bag and you tried to bum us in our sleep. It got him to leave, you know what I mean? I think he made the right decision. Mind you, if he gave him that easy, he probably was a bit of a chutney ferret.
Right, I'm going to stop you there, Gervais. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, whatever.
Now it's time for News Just In.
Thousands of locals have gathered at a busy harbour in Japan where a whale has become stranded. The curious onlookers have already given it a pet name, Sushi.
The SAS has given benefits agents advice on how to catch dole cheats. Wait until they take over an embassy, then blow the shit out of them.
Hookers in Thailand are covering their breasts in poison to knock out tourists and steal their wallets. The Foreign Office are warning all male travellers to stick to the boys.
It's been reported that the cast of Friends have demanded another huge pay increase. As a result, there'll be only one more episode, the one where all the greedy cast get sacked.
And that was the News Just In.
I just say the word cast twice.
That's all from tonight's show.
Tomorrow night we'll be talking to the star of Human Traffic in the Lakes, John Sim.
But before we go, there was controversy in the Caribbean this evening as Prince Charles took time out from his tour of Trinidad to discuss his manhood.
It is as old as I am, but somewhat less battered, perhaps. And so has been present throughout my life as something to which the Queen and other members of my family attach great value.
Good night.
Good night.